Hey ShineOn, Jim Carmella here with another edition of Shot of Espresso. And today we're going to go over our Toolbox for Success, which is a mega guide, 51 pages long, that sort of summarizes all of the guides that we've put out over the last month. So if you haven't been keeping up with our Shot of Espressos, now would be a great time because it's a fantastic review of them. And this video is just really kind of coincide or support what we're doing here in this particular guide. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. All right, so let's start with shiny objects. So I've fallen victim to shiny objects. I'm sure many of you have fallen a victim to a shiny object. So what is that? And really it's what you perceive to be a better opportunity, whether it's a new business model, a new product type, a new shiny course. Realistically, for you to be successful in business long term with print on demand, with ShineOn, you need to create a business plan and follow that business plan regardless of what noise is going on around you. Now, that doesn't mean you don't implement or augment what you're doing with new tactics or new parts of your business, as long as it coincides with what you want to accomplish. Let me get specific with that. So let's say you are focusing on our marketplaces and you want to set up a bunch of products in Etsy and maybe on Amazon and maybe on Walmart or things of that nature, right? So you want to go after the organic traffic. Now, it's a lot of work on the front end because you have to constantly be doing designs and putting designs in your store and ranking them for keywords, and it's a full-time job just working in the marketplaces, but you don't have to as much financial risk. So I think I've said this before, and I live kind of by this mantra of, to be successful in business, you have one or two assets that will really help you succeed. And one is either time or money. The more money you have, the less time you have to put in because you can afford to hire more people. The less money you have, the more time you have to put in. Okay? When I got started in this business forever ago, it seems like, I didn't have a lot of money. Truth be told, I was a teacher, and so I was doing this part-time and putting things together here and there. So I didn't have a lot of money, so I had to put in the time. So a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of late nights, nights, weekends, anytime that I possibly could to pick up new skills, whether that was media buying or copywriting or learning new pieces of software so I could edit my own photos and videos and things like that. So it took a long time to get proficient in all of them. I won't say I'm an expert in every one of them, right? But I'm proficient enough to where every major component of e-commerce, print on demand, I could do on my own. Now that I'm with ShineOn and we have more resources, it's okay that I sort of let go of that control because we can afford to hire great team members that can do that stuff. And maybe you can afford to hire a designer to help you out with the graphic portion of it, or a copywriter, or a media buyer. Maybe you can't. Maybe you can't afford any of that. So you have these two giant resources. One is time and one is money. If one of those is short, you have to use the other. Okay? So if you're like me, when I was, 10 years ago or so, actually more than 10 years ago now, I didn't have any money, so I had to use a lot of time. Okay? So we're circling back to shiny objects. You want to stay focused on your business plan. By that I mean, if you're working on print-on-demand jewelry and that's your niche and that's what you're selling, regardless of sub-niche or like the product category, what market you're trying to find to sell the jewelry to, if you are selling print-on-demand jewelry and you're committed to making this work with ShineOn, then put blinders on and that's what you do. If you're a marketplace person like Etsy, I just want to do Etsy, I'm going to do Etsy, I'm going to own Etsy and be that, fine. But focus on that. Don't do Etsy and the platform and this and that. Your deal is Etsy, so you focus on Etsy. I want to kick butt at scaling Facebook ads or TikTok ads. I will say when you are diving into a traffic source, you want to get really good at one traffic source. So if you're just starting out, maybe evaluate the overall performance of, start a TikTok account, start a Facebook account, and figure out which one do you like better. Do you like doing all the videos that you're going to need for TikTok? Are you wanting to do image-based ads? Image-based ads don't work on TikTok. They literally will not allow a static image to go up there. So if you don't want to get, good at video production, or obviously they don't have to be professional. The real lifestyle of videos tend to work way better on TikTok than a polished studio style video does. But they do require videos. So pick a traffic source and then get really good at that traffic source would be my suggestion. So focus. Okay, so that's shiny object stuff. And there's some fantastic content in here from Zappy. Feel free to read through the rest of that as well. Next up is niches. I'm sure he did a fantastic job too about what they are and how there's sub niches, and you sort of have this convalescence of different types of things. What I'm seeing on Facebook right now is the trend to go broad. So your Merry Christmas to my nurse wife who likes pugs. That type of specificity is made millions, millions and millions of dollars in sales over the last decade. However, with post iOS 14.5 and all the subsequent updates and all that stuff, Facebook really did lose a lot of data. In fact, they're showing a loss in advertising revenue in Q3 for the first time, I think, ever almost. As long as I can remember, they showed a loss in revenue. Now that doesn't mean they were negative, obviously. They just didn't have any growth in ad revenue over the last quarter, which is really the first quarter that you're seeing in this new Apple world, if you will. So part of that is that Facebook's ability to laser target the right people at the right time with the right ad has gotten less and less dialed in, I guess is the right term for it. So what we're seeing work better now is the super broad stuff. So we don't have to rely on Facebook being fantastic at picking the right thing. So if you want to go for some of these, there's plenty of them to choose from, right? So, but you're looking at individual. So I would pick one niche and get good at that. I would not advertise granddaughter, grandfather, grandson, husband, future dad all at the same time. Pick one, okay? Pick one that you're attached to. Pick one that you know well. So if you don't have a daughter or you don't have a son, maybe not do that right now. If you don't have a wife or a husband, maybe don't do that right now. If you have a mom, maybe you don't have the others, maybe focus on that. So if you're getting ready to get married, do that. So I guess what I'm trying to say is focus on the niche that's related the most to you, so that it's you don't have to get in someone else's shoes. You just have to think of yourself. What do you like? So now let's say you're an older lady who has grandkids. Well, okay, so you've got granddaughter is one, grandson is one, and then obviously you have a son or a daughter because you have a grandson or daughter. So more things open up. So what I would say to take a shortcut to find success is pick a niche that's related to where you are at in life. Okay? Hopefully that makes sense. And then just stay focused in that. So really cool. All right, so video ads. I love video ads. The number one reason I will tell you to do video ads is that just for the sheer fact you get more inventory. By that I mean on Facebook, there are more ad spots in the auction to win the impression for video than there are for images. You also will have much less competition right now until people actually start listening to me. You have much less competition for people selling jewelry pieces with video. There's a few people that are doing it, and I see that, and eventually this will get out and more content will get out, and you'll see performance do an uptick on video. So eventually videos will be as competitive as the other stuff, the other products that are sold via video on Facebook. But for now, it's a little bit of a competitive edge, and you do get a lot more inventory as far as in the auction, so you can win more auctions, get more traffic, that type of thing. And finally, the last major benefit to it is that you get more retargeting audiences for your middle of funnel. So by that I mean you can create custom audiences based off the length of view or percentage of video viewed on your ads. So those are some benefits to doing videos. And this guide is fantastic about how you structure the video, what should go in the video, how you actually edit a video. So I highly recommend you going through that as well. All right, so how do you budget your Facebook ads to get in winning products faster and cheaper? And so I'm going to tie this guide and then this guide, Mining for Gold, and we're just going to skip on down to the farming method, because that's really kind of what we're talking about here, is the farming method. So it's the farming method in its crux, or in its summary, if you will, is you take your favorite design, your favorite phrase, and you focus on that, and you market that, okay? You do not, it's sort of the opposite of past courses that we've taught, that we preach, that do work. I'm finding success in this post iOS 14 world doing the farming method. That's why I like talking about it, that you'll see it in action as I do the case study over the next several weeks to months. It fits with my marketing background. Up until, well, I guess I started with print on demand in 2013, and then I went away from it in 2015, and then I didn't come back to it till I joined ShineOn. So in between there's millions and millions and millions of dollars in sales, over $30 million in revenue generated on selling one product at a time. So it would be like, sell this pen, come up with a way to sell this pen, sell this joystick, right? It wasn't sell this joystick, or a blue version of this joystick, or a yellow version of this joystick, or what if the joystick said happy birthday mom on it? Like, there wasn't options. It was sell this joystick, right? So I went back to the drawing board, and I was like, well, how do I do that in print on demand? I still do all the prep work for it. I still write a whole bunch of phrases. I still come up with different design templates on the backgrounds of them. And I still look at, different necklaces and things like that that I think would fit best with that message card. And then once I put them all together, I put the pieces of the puzzle together to create the product. I go, okay, so this is the one I really like the best. And then I run it. So what we do is we set it up on a big ABO campaign with a bunch of $5 ad sets. And then on that first day, we watch it like a hawk. We let it run. But you can see the field. You got one ABO campaign, one interest audience per ad set at $5 a day. And then we see what the click-through rates are. And the ones with the really high click-through rates. And by really high, I mean relative to your specific design's click-through rates. So let's say you start 20 ad sets. So you have 20 different interest targets that you're going with, okay? And you've got all of them spread out, and so that's $100 that you're going to spend times 20 divided by 5, or 20 times 5. You're going to look, and let's say 5 of them have 0.3% or 0.4%. Okay, those aren't very good. Then you have 2 or 3 that are like 1.5 or higher. And then you have a bunch somewhere in the middle. All right? Focus on the ones that give you the best click-through rates. These ad sets are not, and the seed process that I call it, is not designed to identify purchase intent. All I'm looking for right now is audience to product fit, or product to market fix. Okay? Fit, sorry. And then once I find that, then I can expand that out into the seedling stage, bump the budget up to 50 to 80 bucks, let that run for a day or two, and see do we get any sales off of it. Now, in an ideal world, in a picture perfect world, when we run that $5 test, we actually get some sales. Obviously, if it gets sales, guess which ones are going to the seedling stage? Yep, it's the ones that, got the sales. So seeds are designed to see if an audience is interested in your product. Then we expand out into a higher budget, let it run for a day, see if I get a couple of sales, see which ones show profitable or not, turn off the ones that aren't profitable, and then we scale up to cost caps. And cost caps is my current scaling method. We go $1,000, and I've tested a bunch of different types of size budgets. And honestly, $1,000 works the best from as a high level. I really wouldn't go down. I really wouldn't go above to $1,000, like 1,500 or 2,000 or 2,500, because well, I've tried it and it just hasn't worked all that well. Um, it's about, it's break even, but you're not making a lot of profit. So you're pushing a lot of sales, which is cool, but who cares? Like it's all about how much money you bring home. So for this next round of scaling this week, once I get my ad account back to be stable, then what I'll do is I'll duplicate the winners again to be able to scale those out even further, but I'll go lower in budget. So I start at 1,000, right? And most conventional wisdom is, well, if you're at 1,000, then the next one you duplicate and you go to 1,500 or 2,000. Well, I'm going to go from 1,000 down to 750. Okay. Now I'm not getting rid of the $1,000 budgets at all. I'm leaving those there. I'm just adding on $750 or $500 or something along those lines to see if we can get additional campaigns to work just as well. Okay. So that's what we're working on currently. And then that would be the harvesting stage. So this is your planting seeds. This is you can see we've got great purchase ROAS. So obviously this is working quite well. And then you can see our cost per link click, the highest one. So anything really above, in this case, I used 1.3. I gave them a chance to go up to on the seedling stage. Seedling stage, again, you transplant to a $50 to $80 ad set or campaign budget, and then see if you get some sales. And then once you're done there, you harvest those seedlings into big budget, like $1,000 a day. Now, all this stuff is relative, right? If you don't have the financial backing to be able to afford $1,000 a day in ad spend, then you have to go incrementally. You may be at the seedling stage for the rest of Q4, and that's okay, because the name of the game is profit, right? It's not big sales numbers. Who cares if you made $10,000 in a day in sales, right? If you made 10 grand a day in sales, but you made $100, well, who cares? That's a lot of work, a lot of ad spend just for $100, when you could stay at the seedling stage and maybe make $200 a day. And I'm sure there's an awful lot of folks watching this video right now that your lives will change with $200 a day in profit. Okay? So your farming method may be very different than mine. You may start with a seedling stage at $5 and then move it to a seedling stage and then just stay there. So you're constantly adding $5 new interest. Like obviously, if we get an interest at $5 to spend a day and we get a sale, I'm going to go test other audiences that are similar to that audience. And to do that, you just go you duplicate the ad set, then you go down to the interest area and click suggestions, and then pick a couple of those suggestions and try it. It's $5 more a day. Okay? And then that could be your whole scaling. You go from seed stage to seedling, and then seed stage to seedling, and seed stage to seedling. And that's going to get you several $100s a day in ad spend too. You may never get to the cost caps, and that's perfectly okay. That's why I said in the very beginning of this video, you need to have a business plan that works for you. And part of that business plan is budget. How much money can I afford to spend until I need to start recycling that profit into it? Now, you should have some money saved up so that if you're going to do ads, especially in this market, you have to be able to shoulder some losses while you're doing the testing, right? So you don't look at it as you're losing money, it's you're buying data. But realistically, you are losing money, right? That doesn't change. It's just, gurus and course sellers tell you, well, you're just buying data. If you don't use the data, then you're just wasting money. So be smart with your testing. Don't waste money. If you're running even a $5 a day ad set, if you're at less than a 0.5 click-through rate, kill it. It's not going anywhere. It's not going to become a success long term. Okay? And so that, my friends, is your toolbox for success. And we've got with this guide, stay up to date. You can sign up for ShineOn here if you're not already. Join our Facebook group, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and then you've got some more guides here, like for UTM tracking and things like that. Also, before I sign off, I wanted to let you know that each post in the group now that is Shot of Espresso, we now added a hashtag Shot of Espresso. So if you go up, if you're looking for all of these and you want to catch up on them and all the videos that we've done over the last couple of months since we've been doing these, what you can do is search the group. So click the little search icon and then just type in hashtag shot of espresso and they'll come up. Okay, and then there's also a tab in there too that you can get to find them all as well. So that way it's easier to search for all this stuff. Anyways, I cannot tell you how excited I am for our guides coming up in the near future. I've got one that I'm working on right now that is all about deep diving into cost caps, what they are, how you structure them, how you work them, and all that stuff. And then after that one is done, I'm going to start working on a case study for Q4 where I show you my design. I show you the ad process, win or lose. I have no idea if it's going to work or not. I am going to run that test on the platform so that a lot of the guides that I do are through our Shopify app, but I want it to get a success on the platform for everybody. So we'll see. We'll see what happens, but I'm excited to test it. Anyways, hope you enjoyed the guide. Again, definitely get this one. It wraps everything over the last month plus in one little guide. Thanks so much for being a member of ShineOn, and stay shiny, everybody.